Hey, good Wednesday morning, Quad Cities. It is Wednesday, May 27th. It is just a little after 9:05. Welcome into Ask Andrew Live. I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzke.
And I'm meteorologist Matthew Clark.
Welcome back, another week.
Another week.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
And you've done how many shows now? Have you kept count?
I haven't kept count. I did the 11 on Friday,
Yeah.
11 on Monday, and the 4 on Monday, and the 11 Tuesday, so 4 shows.
Yeah, 4 shows under your belt. What do you think?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And then the 11 today, and the 4 again today.
You're going to be a busy guy today.
Yes, running all the circles here. So.
And then this is the first weekend, right, coming up?
Yes, I will be on the weekend evening shows, the 5 and the 10 on Saturday and Sunday. So
We're going to
catch me there.
Loose.
Yes.
No supervision whatsoever. I'm so excited to see what you do this weekend.
No.
You're going to do great.
Yes, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
It'll be a good time.
No stress.
No stress at all. No. You got good weather. You got quiet weather coming in this weekend.
Yes, I brought the quiet weather with me.
You did.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, because you were talking about, when we first got here, about how much drought there was in Florida.
Yep.
And now that seems to kind of be working its way up here.
Yes. Drought is up here, and they are just getting rain after rain after rain, storms down in Florida now. And it's like, really? Now? Like, the patterns have completely switched.
Yeah, the tables
now that I've
turned.
come here. It's like, really?
It has followed you.
It's like I thought maybe I'd have interesting weather to talk about coming up here, but nope. Drought. It's followed me.
It is getting quiet again. So, of course, that's one of the things we're going to focus on today. We'll talk more about this potential, what I call flash drought scenario that's going to develop in the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk about an update to the hurricane forecast because now NOAA has spoken up. All parties have spoken, and we'll get their consensus as what's going to happen there. And also, we'll talk about the difference the ground makes when it comes to what our temperatures are doing, because the next 2 weeks will be a classic example of it. So we'll do a deep dive into that, and of course, all your questions at home. Some good ones. So.
And jokes.
Welcome in, and jokes too. Yes, there's at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get a 4th one today. We'll see.
James liked the forecast joke yesterday. Forecast.
Oh yes, yes.
I told him that on Sunday.
That was cute.
He enjoyed that one.
It was very
cute. I was going to tell him on the course, and I remembered. So
yeah, I like it. It was adorable.
Keep the jokes rolling.
Keep them coming in. And a reminder of how you send those to us. So if you've got a question, a comment, or a joke, we got a lot of jokesters coming in. There's where to send it if you're not watching on the Facebook stream that we're simulcasting. So if you're watching on the Facebook stream, just put it in the comments section. But if you're not, you send it to that number. The folks in our digital team will be monitoring that, and they'll send it along to us when the time comes. And we'll get to those questions right about 20 after the hour. So spend a little bit of time talking about the weather.
What's going on?
And what's going on or what is not going on.
Right?
Oh, my goodness. It's
better
just
to say that
crazy.
At this point.
Yeah, it's so quiet. I want to take you out to TPC first because this is actually a live weather station that we get updates live. The airport one, we got to wait about every 15, 20 minutes for an update. But I wanted to see where the temperature was doing because we're going to have such a quick climb today in that temperature.
73 already.
73, yeah. And would you believe we dropped down to 52 in the metro this morning?
Yeah, I mean, lack of moisture in the air helps for sure. I mean, in Florida, the dew point's still in the 70s at 9 o'clock at night, so it feels like you're walking through a sauna.
Yeah,
but
it makes it hard to cool off.
The heat can escape when it's dry like this, which is nice because once those high temperatures knock down in the evening, it makes for a wonderful evening. There's no doubt about that.
It really does. And I noticed a lot of people got the bonfires going last night. I was like, oh, it's the perfect time for that this week. And you don't have to worry about, setting anything on fire because everything's all greened up now, which is nice. So we're going to keep an eye on the thermometer. I have a feeling, yesterday I made a bet with Emma Bucher that by the 11 it was going to be 80 degrees.
What are we saying this morning?
Thank goodness. I said mid-80s, likely popping up by 11 this morning, just because it's been so rapid this time.
I'll say 84. How about
84? I like that number.
I'll say 84.
Nice round number.
But yeah, I mean, I think a few places. I know Morgan was looking at a few stations online and a few hit 90 for just a brief period of time, but none of our actual stations on this graphic or your backyard that I learned that Geneseo Geneseo reading is your backyard.
It is, yeah. It's right at my house.
It's
actually right there in the backyard.
Quite funny. And Sterling's your grandparents?
My mom's house.
Mom's house.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've got our whole family of networked weather stations on here.
Yeah, it's good. But no, it did not reach 90 there yesterday on this graphic at least. But a few tiny places saw 90 for a brief period of time. Certainly felt like it though.
It did, yeah. And I think today we'll add more. maybe officially get that at the Quad City International Airport today. We'll see how that shakes out. But I mean, look at DeWitt, 76 already, Tipton 77. It's the same thing down in southeast Iowa. These things are climbing. So maybe by 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning, some 80s already making an appearance. It's a very, very quick climb. There's the 8-hour tracker showing how that's all going to play out as we head into the afternoon. It is full on sunshine. We talked about that boundary a couple of days ago, how it was going to try and sneak in here and maybe drive an isolated shower storm. Well, now it looks like that's not going to happen, which isn't too surprising. So don't have to worry about that this afternoon.
Nope.
Don't have to keep an eye on the radar.
I will say the National Weather Service said the last time we hit 90 here at the Quad City Airport was October 3rd.
Yes, it's been a while.
So it has been, what is that, 7, 8 months? I can't do the math off the top of my head.
and one of those things that you're going to find out, you know, as you've been here a year plus and you get to experience your fall here, our fall season's getting longer. Like
That's nice.
Summer is bumping more into fall a little bit more. So yeah, we're getting a lot more 90s in October than we used to.
Yeah, I know Morgan was also showing the amount of days over the past couple of years. We've hit 90, and I think it was 23 last year, and I think Florida's already surpassed that 23.
Yeah.
Up to this point, so it's like, oh, I can do 23 days in the 90s. That's nothing.
That's nothing compared to what you're used to, right?
That's a relief, if anything.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a change. So that's where we're headed for this afternoon. We still don't think there's much, if any, appreciable chance for rainfall in the next 8 days. It just still continues to remain quiet. That's the 8-day, and I'll take the 14-day in a second. But I do want you to notice this weekend. It was amazing how Monday, I think I had a temperature on Saturday of 81 or 82. And now I've already had to bump it up twice in the past 2 days, just because it looks like the heat's going to intensify for the weekend again.
No secondary backdoor front. Well, at least not as strong as originally anticipated.
That's what we were expecting,
Also maybe coming in a little bit later for Monday, but I mean, 84 is still pretty warm.
It's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, it's definitely very summer-like. Now, there's a little bright spot at the end of the tunnel here.
I was going to say.
One little icon. And that's all the way a week from this upcoming Tuesday, next Tuesday. Maybe as we get toward the middle of June, this blocking pattern will start to break down, and I'm starting to see some signs of that. Some of the longer range severe weather dynamics are starting to light up again. And we'll see how that shapes.
A few kinks in the upper atmosphere. Trying to hint at a few short waves moving through, but that's long range. That's 168 hours and beyond.
It is, So we know the timing is going to change. Don't expect, that to be exactly on that Tuesday, but sometime in the middle of June, as we get a little closer to that, I would expect this stuff to change a little bit. And we'll see where we go from there.
Gives us something to talk about, right?
Yeah, because until then, it's just nothing but heat to talk about.
Heat and drought.
It's so boring, which boring's okay.
Boring is okay. I mean, I'm sure not a lot of people are going to complain about sunshine. I'm not going to complain about sunshine.
No, it's nice to see it. We're going to be able to get a lot of stuff done outside, too. We'll go over our Ask Andrew question that came in for today, and I've got another graphic to kind of go along with this, but Jennifer was wondering, does the lush green grass slow down the drought formation process? So she's on to something. This is a fantastic question. It was helpful that we got that nice early spring rain because it did lead to a really quick green up around here. And that color does make all the difference in the world. So I want you to pay attention to both scenarios here on both sides of the graphic. So when you have a wet ground, and you could consider some parts of our ground still wet because we do get some dew in the morning, which kind of wets things out. That wet ground involves some evaporation during the day. So what that does is it tends to cool the air slightly because of that evaporation. But if we stay in this pattern, like we just showed you for the next 2 weeks, where we're not going to get any rain, we're going to quickly move over to the left-hand side of the screen where it's that dry ground. And the difference is because there's really no evaporation going on there, that heat is absorbed by the ground a lot more efficiently. The ground heats up, the air is likely to heat up, and I think that's why you're seeing in the 2-week outlook these consistent upper 80s, near 90-degree temperatures. It allows those temperatures to stick around a lot longer versus the other scenario on the right-hand side of the screen. Huge difference. Huge difference.
It's very lush out there right now. Looks wonderful.
It is. Yeah, and it'll help us in the near term. But my fear is, if things keep drying out, we're going to look like the left-hand side, and everything's going to get brown again, and the yards will struggle, and We'll see how long
Putting
that
the sprinklers on
last.
overtime.
Yeah, no kidding. At least in cities that you're allowed to do it anyway.
That's true, right? Yeah.
We have a number of cities, I think, that are probably going to be going into that water conservation mode again, probably limiting how much you can water the lawn and things like that.
Still stuff I have to learn. City ordinances and whatnot.
You'll see those come in your inbox pretty quickly.
Yep.
So, given the left-hand side scenario, what we may likely be dealing with here in the next few weeks is developing something that's called a flash drought. And it's called that because it develops so quickly. When we show the drought map in the next couple of weeks, we're likely going to go from nothing to potentially moderate drought. Maybe not severe, depending on how quickly that pattern can change.
Yeah.
But I want you to pay attention to the deficits that we've had so far this year for rain. So we had a deficit in January, we had a deficit in February, a little bit of a surplus in March, a big, nice surplus last month in April. But now in May, we're going negative again. And by the time we end the month, it's probably going to be more than 2 inches in the hole. But look at June. I mean, if we have a really dry June, look at how much moisture has the possibility of being evaporated out of the ground, almost more than 6.5 inches worth of rain. So that first half of June, if it does remain dry, you are indeed likely going to see some type of flash drought condition quickly develop.
Yeah, you get to the summer months and that sun just sucks the moisture out of the ground.
Strong.
It's kind of different than what was going on in Florida because it's really started in November, lower sun angle, and sun was less intense, so definitely more of a slower process. I mean, November to now, still talking drought, but yeah, I mean, with the drought like this, the dry conditions like this happening in the midst of summer, it definitely pulls a lot in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, it's the time of year you don't want that to happen.
No, if there's going to be a time, let it be like November or December.
You want it a little bit later, but with the crops being in their growth stage right now, it's just not great timing at all. So I'll show you those numbers here to repeat because I go this all the way out to July. Your June and July, those are your top 2 months. Actually, if you go through May, you might as well say top 3 months that you're going to evaporate the water out of the ground. So we're at that time now, and we're getting right into the midst of it. And unfortunately, we're just not keeping up with consistent rainfall.
Unfortunately not. You don't get those sea breeze thunderstorms here.
No, we don't.
You don't get those.
And we're not close enough to Lake Michigan to get, those lake breeze thunderstorms that happen in the summer. So
my house got 6 inches of rain on just one sitting the other day.
Yeah.
I know my mom can confirm that. She's watching this.
I've actually seen, we played, I don't know if it was maybe on GMA this morning, but there was some video from down kind of in that region of some of the flooding that was going on. Yeah. What a difference.
Because those are stationary thunderstorms. I mean, these thunderstorms here at least move. So they can dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time, but at least they're moving. But no, the sea breeze thunderstorms, they go up, they rain themselves out on one spot, and it's feast or famine down there. 'Cause one neighborhood over could get nothing, and one neighborhood over can get 6 inches.
And the next one can get 6 inches.
In the span of 30 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think we could take some of those heading into June and July.
Maybe we can have your mom ship a little rain up this.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it costs, though.
Ooh, putting it in boxes? Put it in boxes and ship it up.
And the plastic involved, and it'd probably be heavy, too, as well.
We can do paper boxes.
Oh, yeah,
cardboard.
that would work.
Cardboard, that's what
we
I'm
can
looking
do
for.
that, too.
Yeah.
Keep it eco-friendly, if you will. We'll go out to the pattern here, too. This is the longer range. I think this is either the Euro or the GFS. It's one or the other. I can actually, since we're on the fly here, we can do both if you're curious to see if there's any similarities here. This is rain all the way out to June 6th, so 10 days worth. And yeah, not much of a strong sign here. Oh, thank you. So that's the European. And if you want to switch over to the old American here, and see if it's any different, we'll give it a minute to load because it takes its time.
High pressure is like a offensive lineman just blocking the rain.
It is. It really is. It just does not want anything to move.
There we go. Yep.
And they're kind
keeping
of
everything out to the west.
Yeah, not seeing anything move this way quite yet. But again, after we get the short of the 14-day, that would put us roughly about June 10th, 11th. Once we get into those teens, the middle part of June, perhaps maybe we'll see some of that western activity finally start to shift a little further to the east.
Talking about June 13th, 14th. That's like 3 weeks away.
I know. Summer is going to fly by.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And that's going to be John Deere Classic time. And time, where does it go?
We'll get the the first rains in like 2 months on that weekend, right? That's usually how it works.
Maybe that's what'll happen is, maybe we'll be dry through the first half of June, and then that first middle weekend in the middle of June, maybe then we'll just get downpour after downpour.
Hey, we'll take it.
And maybe it'll be active for the rest of the month. That'd be nice.
Drought monitor. All too familiar with this guy.
I know. Let's go down to your area quick.
Exceptional still.
Look at all of that.
Yep, so I was right smack dab middle of north central Florida.
That's crazy.
That's where Gainesville is, and that's right there, yep.
Right in there.
Yep, and exceptional drought was trying to creep its way further down to the southeast, but the rains that we've been getting have definitely been helping.
Now, we were talking about this.
Yep.
This is kind of attributed to the lack of tropical activity.
Yes. Yeah, so we didn't have any tropical activity last year, so we were already in a deficit of rainfall for our summer months. And we also, where the Bermuda High sits, it also depends on where those afternoon thunderstorms will set up. So there's different regimes with the Bermuda High, but the regime that we're in right now, in Florida at least, that's where the sea breezes collide on the west coast of Florida. They were all colliding on the east coast of Florida. That's why you can kind of see the moderate and dry conditions off to the east coast, because they got the surplus of rain last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in a little bit better situation.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very unusual. I mean, when he was telling me about the tropical component, it's like, I guess every year we do hear about some system going through Florida, whether it's a hurricane or a tropical storm
Well, there was
or
3 in 2024.
I
mean, obviously the big one's Helene and Milton, but there was also Debbie, the Cat 1 that hit the Big Bend area.
Yeah.
So everybody forgets about Debbie because Helene and Milton happened.
But
Debbie brought some rain, some good rain. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So Florida really does bank on at least having some tropical activity every season to keep up on their rainfall.
Yeah.
Even though you're ironically surrounded by so much water on both sides of the state. It's like, how is this possible?
Sit on a peninsula, surrounded on 3 sides.
Yeah.
Everything but Georgia and Alabama. Everything else is water.
And they're in kind of the same boat that you guys are as well, right up through southeast Georgia, even as far north as Kentucky.
Man, some of the wildfires in southeast Georgia before I left were pretty bad.
Yeah, seen some video on that. Thank goodness we don't have a southeast breeze here, because then we'd be talking about that wildfire smoke making its way up here.
Yeah, there were some days where we had the northeast breeze and it was just smoke-infested Gainesville, and it was like the whole city's going to burn down.
It doesn't smell good.
No, it really doesn't.
Great. Last year and the year before, we dealt with Canadian wildfire smoke here.
Yep.
And it was early June that we started to see that. That's one of the things, by the way, I'm going to talk about next week at this time, is how is that looking to the north in Canada? Are they back in severe drought? How likely or not likely are we to see a repeat of that? And the answer is going to surprise you, because the data that I've been looking at so far, I was like, wow, what a difference compared to the last few years. So we're going to talk about that next week, because that's exactly when it came in the last 2 years. It was right at the start of June.
Yep.
And that's where we'll be next week. A lot of drought out west too.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also kind of concerning, because drought that's out west tends to migrate eastward. And I think you're going to see that again when we get an update on this map, if not this week, next week, some of that expansion.
Yep.
But just a lot of dryness everywhere across the country. And remember, El Nino is just getting started.
Yep.
It takes a month or 2, sometimes 3 months after that process gets going for its impacts to be felt. So, typically in an El Nino pattern, you get a stronger southern tropical jet stream, which
good news
will
for the southeast.
Be very good news, for that portion of the country. And hopefully maybe we can get a little bit of wet weather in the center part of the country too, but it's kind of a delayed process. So just because we have El Nino now doesn't mean we flip a switch and things change instantly. Takes a while for that to kind of kick into gear.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah, but it'll be cool to see how it plays out in the next few months. Be very interesting. We have 24 minutes after the top of the hour. We got some questions. We can see who's in the chat this morning. I can see our usual suspects are here. Let's see, are we at the top? Yes, we are. Hey, good morning, Riley. Thanks for coming into the chat
How
this morning.
long will this pattern last, and could it go throughout the rest of the summer?
Let's see, is that from Billy? Oh, yes, from our dedicated Clinton weather watcher. So is this going to last in the summer, through the summer? At this time, if you're looking at just the El Nino perspective of it, probably not.
Yeah.
But I think once we get to the middle part of June, if we don't see that pattern shift, we're kind of almost getting to the point of no return.
Yeah.
If you're dry, all the way through the middle, late part of June, boy, it's going to take something very big to switch that around for you for the rest of summer.
And you're not getting any hurricanes up here to do that.
No, that's true. We don't have that convenience or inconvenience, depending on how you look at it, of getting a tropical system this far north.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
Nope.
At all.
I was saying, like, it could happen. I mean, like, come straight up the Mississippi and then kind of just, like, atmosphere acts as a sponge and just dumps, but that's just so rare.
It is, it's hard to get. So, Billy, hang in for a couple of weeks because, again, I think once we get closer to that middle part of June, if it's still dry and it looks like the rest of June is going to be dry, if that's what we're seeing, that'll be a very strong signal for the rest of the summer season.
Yeah, hopefully not. All right, we got some jokes from Riley. Did you hear about the snowman spy?
The snowman spy?
He has a license to chill. So you can build snowmans here. We talk about sandmans in Florida.
Right. Yeah, you can build the snowman.
I can build a snowman.
Yeah.
Do people go sledding up here?
Oh, yeah.
I know, there's a lot of hills.
Yep.
I like sledding. Sledding's fun.
A lot of sledding.
People skate outside?
They do, yeah. There's an ice rink in Bettendorf.
Outdoors?
Go to outdoors.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love the sound of
A lot
that.
fun with that.
And then what did the Irish meteorologist name the stream behind his house? The Mary O'Donnell flow.
That's good. That's impressive that you know what that is. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, question from my girlfriend. We'll call her out, Emily. Question for me, not Andrew. She doesn't want to ask you a question.
Well, rightfully so. She should ask her Bo. You.
Now that you've been in the Quad Cities for a week, what are you loving most about it? Definitely the year-round hockey here. They got deck hockey in the summer, and they have the beer leagues in the fall, winter months.
Yeah.
So great community there, and loving that. And also the hills. We don't have those in Florida.
It's so flat.
It is very flat.
Yeah.
And then, I went golfing on Sunday, and the hills were kind of messing with me a little bit. So I'm not used to golfing in hilly conditions. We went to Emai's, so there's some hills out there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so it's a lot of fun out here so far. And also the dry air. Loving that.
Yeah.
Taking up that. I like not being able to walk outside and just being hit with a wall of moisture.
And again,
that's nice.
We're going to check back on that at the end of next month.
That's why I say for now.
Yeah. We'll see what your opinion is of the corn sweat.
Yeah. That's when those low temperatures hardly get out of the 70s.
Yeah.
Because there's just packed in.
It gets so sticky.
Oh, question for Andrew. Is Matthew annoying you yet?
No.
Now
Oh
you
my
get a
goodness.
question.
No. Like I told Matthew, or maybe I told this. I can't remember who I talked to anymore because I talked to so many people. Maybe I told you, or maybe I told a class that I was up in college at my old stomping grounds in Northern. I said I would rather have somebody when it comes to a new team member who talks my ear off and asks a million questions than someone who just sits there and says nothing and we're like in an awkward silence.
Yeah, I'm the first one.
Yeah.
I ask a lot of questions.
And I said, thank goodness.
Yep. So the questions will continue
yes.
during my time.
And I encourage those because there's even times I'm asking questions of somebody else. So, you have your programming experience.
Yes.
I'm going to be really picking your brain as I keep diving into
I think
that,
I managed to update the dew point thing to get it automatic. If you want to pull it from my workspace real quick, see if
let's see where it's
it
at.
works.
Let's
my
pull it
workspace
in
is
here.
small because I just started, so there's not clutter. It's in the main.
We'll have to check in on his workspace a year from now. I bet it triples in size.
I'm trying to keep it's that one right there.
This one right here?
Yep.
Boom. Oh, you know what? I have to add it to my for it to load. Silly me.
So I'm trying to automate this because these bars were manual beforehand. Okay. Yeah, that looks that looks to be right. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. So this
I didn't even touch that. That's up to date.
This is all what we call data driven.
Although
nice.
Wednesday and Thursday say 50-50 and 50's higher on Wednesday than it's Thursday. So
Well, the bars are close.
they're close. We'll have to go back and
We'll take a little finagling.
we're gonna play around with this.
To me, it looks great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep, we'll play around.
Yeah, and we'll be using this a lot more once we get into that corn sweat season.
Yep.
To show you how that relates to how comfortable or uncomfortable it's going to be.
For sure.
A lot coming our way.
Yeah.
All right, we have reached the bottom of the half hour.
Yep.
I want to thank you guys for coming on in and joining
thank you
us
for
again.
the questions as well.
Yeah, Matthew's going to be in for the 11 again today. I'll be kind of working behind the scenes on a couple of things.
I know you saw you behind yesterday.
Yes. I always got to make sure, okay, no hair sticking up in the back of my head, right? Everything's good back there.
Yes.
But yeah, look forward to seeing you again at 11.
Yep.
I'll be back with you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early. And tomorrow, we have weather on the road with the Channel Cat.
Yes.
During the 11.
That seems fun.
And you're off.
And I'm off.
You're going to miss it. You'll have to watch. That's okay.
I will watch.
We'll get you on the channel cat.
I got to see what the channel cat's about.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So looking forward to getting out on the water. And I may have to bring my captain's hat on the boat tomorrow.
That'd be fun.
So we'll see. It'll be a lot of fun. You guys enjoy your Wednesday.
Yes.
See you later this morning.
See ya.